All right, let's get right into it. We're tackling a question today that's, well, it's everywhere in the tech world. It's got people both terrified and totally fascinated. You know the one, it's the big question on every single developer's mind right now. I mean, AI is writing code, it's debugging, it's even designing apps. So you gotta wonder, right? Are human programmers on the way out? Is that what's actually going on here? And this quote, this one from a developer on Reddit, it just hits the nail on the head. It really gets to the core of the anxiety. See, it's not just about what the tech can do. It's about perception. It's about managers and business decisions and that constant pressure to slash costs. Okay, so let's just dive headfirst into those fears. Let's look at the worst case scenario that so many developers are actually talking about and worrying about right now. So, one of the biggest concerns is this idea that the whole profession could be, well, commoditized. The fear isn't really that every single job is going to vanish tomorrow. It's that the value of the work is just going to crater, driving down salaries and turning this highly skilled profession into just another cheap gig. And this next one, this is a huge one. We're already hearing from developers who are seeing AI tools take over the exact kind of tasks that usually go to junior engineers. And the real long-term worry there is, well, what happens if you take away that first step on the career ladder? You could completely break the pipeline that creates senior talent down the road. And finally, there's this fear of what some are calling AI slop. Just picture it, a world where companies desperate to be more efficient just start pumping out software built on this really shaky foundation of cheap AI-generated code. It sounds like a recipe for a digital world filled with bugs, security holes, and just a race to the bottom on quality. Okay, so those are the big fears. But how much of that is grounded in reality? Let's switch gears here and actually look at the data. Let's try to separate the marketing hype from what's really happening with these tools on the ground. I mean, we've all been hearing the hype, right? This promise of the 10x engineer, where a tiny team can do the work of a massive one, all thanks to AI. But when you dig into the actual studies, the picture is, well, it's a lot more realistic. We're seeing a decent productivity boost for sure, maybe around 15 to 20%. But, and this is a big but, it comes with a catch. There's a much bigger need for humans to come in and review, fix bugs, and clean up all that messy tech debt that AI can sometimes create. This chart from the latest Stack Overflow developer survey, it just paints such a fascinating picture. You can see that adoption is through the roof. More than 3/4 of developers are already using these tools or planning to. But here's the wild part. The trust? It's just not there yet. Less than half of them actually trust the code that AI spits out. So they're using the tools, yeah, but with a very healthy dose of skepticism.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. This breakdown shows where AI actually shines and where it doesn't. So if you're starting a new, simple task in a popular language like JavaScript or Python, it's a massive productivity boost. But the second you try to work on a complex existing codebase or you use a more niche language, that productivity gain just falls off a cliff. In fact, for some really complex stuff, it can actually make you less productive. It gets in the way.
So, okay, if AI isn't some magic silver bullet, then what is it? Well, all the evidence is pointing to one thing. It's a really powerful new tool in the developer's toolkit. So let's take a look at how it's actually getting woven into the day-to-day process of building software. First up, just a quick refresher for everyone. When we talk about the software development lifecycle, or SDLC, we're talking about the whole shebang. It's the entire process, from the initial idea and design all the way through to testing, deployment, and keeping it running. It's so much more than just banging out lines of code. And this is really where AI is starting to shine. Think of it like a workhorse for all those boring, repetitive tasks. It's like a crystal ball for predicting where bugs might pop up, and it's a massive turbo boost for testing. We're even seeing it pop up in CI/CD pipelines, the automated systems that ship code to predict delays. Some companies are reporting they're cutting their testing time by 30, even 40% because of AI. It's pretty clear it's an accelerator, not a full-on replacement. Just like IBM data scientist Anna Gutowska says here, the whole point is to free up developers from all that tedious boilerplate work. So instead of wasting hours on routine stuff, they can use their brain power on the really creative, complex problems. The stuff that actually builds amazing products. All right, so now let's follow the money, because all these changes to how we build software, they're having a huge impact on the job market. So where are the jobs going, and what are the skills that everyone is looking for? This chart really tells the whole story.
It shows you exactly how the job market is shifting. And as you can see, it's not that software engineering jobs are just disappearing. Not at all. But they are changing. We're seeing a definite dip in demand for front-end roles, while at the same time, the demand for super specialized skills, especially anything to do with machine learning, is just going through the roof.
So why front end? Why is that getting hit the hardest? Well, as this Reddit user points out, it kind of makes sense. Think about it. AI models have been trained on basically the entire internet. They have seen billions of examples of front-end code, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, way more than back-end code. So it makes them pretty darn good at spitting that kind of code out. And you can see this shift towards specialization in the paychecks too. The demand for people who know AI and machine learning is so high that the average salary for an AI engineer is already clearing $136,000. The market is sending a very clear signal here. If you specialize, it pays off. Which brings us to the big one, the most important question, really. In a world where AI can handle all the simple stuff, what skills are going to make a software engineer not just valuable, but irreplaceable? So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, the value is shifting. It's moving up. It's not just about knowing a specific programming language anymore. It's about thinking at a higher level, designing entire systems. It's about being that crucial link between the code and a specific field, like finance or medicine. And maybe most important of all, it's about becoming a master at working with AI, not against it. Because at the end of the day, for all its power, an AI is still just a really, really good pattern matching machine. It doesn't actually understand the why behind the code it's writing. It doesn't have that human intuition to figure out what a client really wants or to grasp the big picture business goals. That's still a human game. And look, here's the bottom line. Developers themselves totally get this. Even while they're using all these new AI tools, a huge 75% of them say that when it really matters, when the stakes are high, they're still going to trust a human over an AI. That gut feeling, that intuition, that's the part that's just not getting replaced. So the verdict seems to be in. The software engineer isn't going extinct. The role is just evolving. The job is becoming less about just writing code line by line and way more about strategy, creativity, and thinking about the big picture. So really, the question isn't, will AI take my job? The real question is, are you ready to upgrade? Thanks for joining me.